One last time, let's take a break tonight, and then we'll teach them how to say goodbye, you and I. No, sir. I want to talk.
Hello, everybody. I wanted to get a chance to say goodbye to you, but unfortunately, during the craziness of my leaving during the PCS, I just was not able to say goodbye properly to everybody. So I thought I would just take this time right now. Greetings from just north of Philadelphia on this beautiful rainy Tuesday, I think it is, or Wednesday. I don't even know what day it is. Tuesday. And I just wanted to say goodbye in a more proper way. I have something to read to you, if you would permit me. This is not me. Some of you may know who this is from. Though in reviewing the incidents of my administration, I am unconscious of intentional error, I am nevertheless too sensible of my defects not to think it probable that I may have committed many errors. Whatever they may be, I fervently beseech the Almighty to avert or to mitigate the evils to which they may tend. I shall also carry with me the hope that my country will never cease to view them with indulgence, and that after 45 years of my life, dedicated to its service with an upright zeal, the faults of incompetent abilities will be consigned to oblivion, as I myself must soon be to the mansions of rest. Now, if you saw the play Alexander Hamilton, you would know that that was President George Washington's farewell address. Well, you might not know that it was co-written by Alexander Hamilton as well as James Madison. So, and in here he writes that he's unconscious, I can't say the word, unconscious of intentional error. But he says, I'm too sensible of my defects not to think it probable that I might have done some things. But I look back on the last 3 years, and I know I've made some mistakes along the way. But I'm sure there are other mistakes that I'm not aware of. So for both of these, I would apologize to anyone in any way that I may have offended or done anything wrong to. So I wanted to start off with that. The second thing I'll say is that it's hard to believe that 3 years have come and gone, and us in the military know what that means, what that's like. You know, you blink. Actually, you spend 3 years watching people come and go, then all of a sudden it's your time. And those 3 years, they go so fast. In the seminar, we had a saying that the days are long, but the years fly by, and that's especially true in the military. I just cannot believe that 3 years of my life have just come and gone. There's always a danger when you start to thank people, the danger of leaving somebody out. And that's why I started off with an apology, in case that happens. First and foremost, I would love to thank Michelle. Whether you realize it or not, her role in this community is vital. Having 2 full-time jobs, I could not do what I did without Michelle. When I was just taking on water or whatever was up here, I was over my head, and just Michelle would just constantly be there and just knocking tasks out left and right, especially administrative stuff. The work she did with the religious ed and with everything. Again, if I start naming things, I fear I'm going to forget something. But I cannot thank Michelle enough. This community owes a huge thanks. And I on behalf of the community, Michelle, I thank you very much. I am reminded of the work that both Dennis and Robin did with the sacristan when I first got here. And Dennis, you became such a great friend. And wherever God leads you to in your life, I know you are going to do great things, brother. I really do. And I look forward to hearing great things from you. So you and Robin will always be in my heart. And sticking with the sacristy, I thank Rich for stepping up and to the whole Tanner family. You guys are so very dear to me. I enjoy the friendship that we had during my time here. Rich, I enjoyed the bike rides. And just sitting that Halloween when I got dressed up and sitting by your fire pit smoking a cigar as some medieval traveler. I thought that was kind of cool. I like that. But the whole family, I love you guys very much. Joe Sarsak, you have left a while ago, but I want to throw a shout out to you. I am thankful for you keeping me liturgically in line, especially during the Triduum. I'm like, what's next? And you're like pointing to the right there. I'm like, okay. So again, just thank you so much. David, I really appreciate your zeal and the whole music ministry team. I love you guys, and just thank you for the wonderful music and uplifting liturgies that you provided us with, sharing your talents. And I'm so happy that what you've done with the men's group and those retreats. It's just amazing stuff. And I'm glad we kept it going, even when you were in a really difficult part of your life here. We brought Father Robert up, and that was awesome. So, and I thank all the Knights. Everywhere you go, there's always Knights of Columbus hanging out and doing what they do, and the support that they give any parish and religious community like ours is just, it's wonderful. Blanca and CWOC, ladies, I love you guys very much. Love you guys, is that right? I'm sorry. Ladies, I love you very much. And I hope to see as many of you in Poland. I'm praying to God Poland happens this year. If I don't get to Poland, all my Polish friends are going to disown me. So I got to get to Poland. So I'm hoping to be with y'all in Poland and Krakow during the women's retreat there. Reeve and I know Stephanie was a part of that, and everyone who was a part of the youth group that helped really mentor our kids. Thank you so much. That was one of the difficult things for me, not being able to be with the youth like I love doing it. It's always been a passion of mine. I taught high school for 3 years. I've always worked with youth group. I love the energy of the kids. It gives me energy. But it was just one of those things that I had to look and see what can I, what can I do, what can I not do, and that had always pained me during my time there in Wiesbaden. So thank you, ladies, very much for all that you've done for our youth. Thank you to all the catechists who dedicated their time to help spread the faith to our children. And we're investing in the future of the church and how important that is. I'm not sure if you people realize that a third of all priestly vocations, I do not know about religious to become a nun, but a third of all priestly vocations have had some background in the military. They've had some exposure, whether they're soldiers or not, or their parents were soldiers or whatever. But a third of all vocation to the priesthood have some connection to the military. And to the catechist, you play a huge part in that. So thank you very much. To all our ministers, to those who read, those who extraordinary ministers of Holy Communion, in whatever capacity you served, I truly thank you very much. And I also want to give a shout out to all those who stepped up during the COVID lockdowns to keep our community thriving here. Jeff, you were awesome. I know you brought your laptop in, and I like the fact that we were able to have the video feed downstairs was absolutely wonderful. Carolyn, thank you for setting up that mass at I think it was Sacred Heart. And by doing that, we were able to minister to the entire community because of that ministry that you did, Caroline. So huge thank you for that. I thank all the people who took responsibility for helping scheduling the lectors and the EMs when we had multiple services going on. And I know some of you are still doing that even now. So thank you for doing that as well. I have to thank my chaplain assistant, Kappaman. Harley, I love you dearly. You were like a daughter to me when I was there. And I'm looking forward to you because you're coming down to Vicenza now with the 522. So woohoo! So we're going to see you down there again. And Cap, I know you're going to do great things. If you decide to stay in, you're going to do great things, and you're going to touch a lot of hearts because you have a beautiful heart. And Bishop Mum, it was a pleasure and an honor to serve with you. And I know you're still going to be my bishop when I head down to Italy. But I took great pride saying that Wiesbaden is your home. Now I have to warp that somehow to say Vicenza is your home. So I don't know how that's going to work yet, but I will work on something. But it was always great, Bishop, to have you there. I look back and I think, what did I want to accomplish here in Wiesbaden? First and foremost was to draw people closer to God. That's why it was important for me to start devotions such as Rosary before Mass, adoration and confession. I wanted to get First Friday devotions happening, but by the time I was really trying to focus on that, it was towards the end, and it just unfortunately didn't materialize. But these devotions play a huge part in our Catholic tradition, as well as our growing closer to God. And I pray, friends, continue these traditions. Wherever you are, beg your priest for adoration. Beg your priest to start rosary. And whether he can do it or not, say, we'll do it. We'll take it over. Allow us to do it this time. So wherever you are, please beg your priest to do that. I am a huge fan, as you know, of having a separate night for adoration confession. I hate rushing before Mass and trying to get this one done quickly or get this guy through. That's not the way Jesus did it. The woman at the well has always been my image of the way confession was meant to be. The other thing, along with drawing people closer to God, it was drawing people closer to each other. I love building community. You know, we had the bike rides along the Rhine River, which were wonderful, and the little things I would do with people here and there. The canoe trips, I will never forget. We had 90 people on the river that one time. We did before COVID, we did the medieval festivals, the Renaissance festivals. We did castle tours and things like that. And I had all these things lined up. Of course, we had the retreats. We went to the Camino, walked 4 days on the Camino. We did the retreat in Ireland, in Glendalough, Ireland, and of course, Medjugorje. And, again, it's building community. It's building a relationship with God in the community. And all of that, I believe with all my heart, helps foster our faith and strengthen us. I can't talk. It's the braces. Strengthens us in our relationship with God. So I hope to do this down in when I go to Vicenza. And if I do any of these pilgrimages again, especially the Camino or Medjugorje, I will give a shout out to my peeps up there in Wiesbaden. And if anybody wants to jump in on them, it'll be awesome. I look back, what was my main message? Is people always bust on me for my long homilies, but it's my passion. I want to share with you so much. Couple themes. God's grace is always primary. He's the one running the show. And I get in trouble, and I think other people get in trouble when we try to run the show. And God is constantly humbling us to let us know that He's running the show. He's steering the ship, but yet we still have our own part to play. As I said, St. Bernard of Clairvaux said, grace builds on nature. And to the degree that we can perfect ourselves, to the degree that we grow in holiness and strive to rid ourselves, even of venial sin, is to the degree that God can do even more and more beautiful stuff inside of us, with us and through us, especially through us to other people. Important for us to create a space for God. And that's hard to do when we're constantly on the run, on the go. We're working hard, and then we come home, we got the kids going all over, screaming, carrying on, getting into fights. And how do you find that silence? And that is important that we do. Fight for that silence. Fight for that moment of peace whenever you can get it, whether when the kids are asleep, or you put them to bed, or before they get up, or however you can do it. Fight for that time. And I know it's not easy, but we strive to remove all that impedes this union with God. Our disordered attachments to things, to people, to whatever. Always ask, is it hindering my relationship with God? And that's a good litmus test, all right? And we talked about giving God our best, whether that's in the attire that we wear to go into church, with striving to perfect my character in speech and in actions. But giving God my best is what God always asked of us. We are all God's children, another theme I talked about. It's the devil who wants to divide us, and we're seeing that right now in our nation, and it's horrible. There are people who are actively trying to divide us, Democrat, Republican, conservative, liberal, race, he's black, he's Asian, he's this, he's that. Religion, trying to divide us by our religions, our nationalities, our sexualities. Everybody's loved by God. And I know this is going to get me in trouble when I say this, but even Dallas Cowboy fans are loved by God. And I want you to know that, all right? I want you to know that. Take that to heart. There will always be an us and a them. But just know, at the moment when we stop seeing the image of Christ in our brothers and sisters, that we left the path of righteousness. that we're on the wrong path. Sometimes that is especially hard to do, to see the image of Christ in people who have hurt you. But we're called to be Christians, right? It sets us apart from the rest of the world. We're not living according to our fallen nature. We're striving to live towards our redeemed nature. And one of the most important things about that is to see Christ in other people. Philosophy teaches us that a thing moves towards its natural perfection. A thing does what its nature calls it to do. Our redeemed nature wants us to be Christ in the world. Think about that. Our redeemed nature is calling us, demands of us to be Christ in the world. And I close on this note, friends. It is my hope that my time there in Wiesbaden, in some way, shape, or form, has helped the community to move in that direction of perfection. To not imitate Christ, but to be Christ. And I think back of the words of, as you heard me quote John Paul the Great so many times, he says, people live in despair, they live without hope in this world because they never met a Christian brother or sister who has truly shown them the love of God. I hope and pray, friends, that in some way, shape, or form, that during my time here, that I've helped you in some way draw closer to Jesus Christ. I love all of you, and I am so blessed by my time there in Wiesbaden. And I wish you all the best, and I pray that our paths may cross at some point. May God bless you and all your loved ones. Amen.